This game is very bad. Melee, Smash, Brawl, and 64 are better. The stages and characters graphics are bad. 0 out of 10.
Disclaimer, not all of the actual reviews are terrible. In fact, many bring up valid criticism. However, the hilariously low review score given will make you understand why they were put in the video. Seriously, Nintendo, fix your online already.
This game is marred by technical issues and poor design choices. Control of your character is at an all-time low in the Smash series, including Brawl. This is due to the inability to do an aerial without losing momentum and an input buffering system that forces your character to use moves whose buttons you may not even be touching at the time. They set out to make a faster-paced game, but instead every design choice makes the game longer. Almost all moves are safe on shield, and some are even safe on parry. Even moves that would normally be punishable, like poorly spaced smash attacks, can be safe on shield. This leaves the online in shambles, as you're unable to play around an opponent who spams if there is even a little bit of lag. But there's always lag if you use certain controllers. In an attempt to please everyone, they removed core gameplay mechanics and made a game feeling inconsistent and choppy. Online is poorly designed. The single player, while well designed, is monotone, and extra modes leave much to be desired. These complaints would be fine if the core gameplay was good. However, it is not. This game should have been released in summer. The quality is more akin to a Bethesda release than a Nintendo release. Guys, I think this person's onto something. Sakurai has again decided to make a watered-down, poorly constructed version of Smash. He seems to not have learned from Brawl. 2 out of 10. Trash game with an even worse online. Nintendo sucks complete balls, and they're not even a shadow of what they used to be back in the 80s or 90s. I totally agree with you, dude. I mean, what does Nintendo have today that even comes close to the older games? Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey? Pfft, give us more Virtual Boy, am I right? This company needs to die. 0 out of 10. Frustrating, merciless, and too fast for new players. This iteration of the Super Smash Bros. Series doesn't even appeal to the competitive groups around it. They also have a bad time with the adventure mode's unforgiving difficulty, its untested battles, and the spirits mode in general, which ends up useless for the entire game and unfunny. 0 out of 10. I have to say I'm having a very difficult time understanding this person's complaints. This game is one Wii U port. Boring and repetitive, a lot of maps, but with no graphics. 0 out of 10. This game is almost identical to the last game. There is hardly any gameplay improvements. This game doesn't even have a proper story mode. The developers were too cheap and lazy to develop one. The graphics are a joke. The physics are beyond horrible. The soundtrack is so awful in this game, it makes Nickelback's music sound like a masterpiece. The combat is boring and repetitive. The developers put little effort to make the combat deep. When I pay $60, I expect to have a combat system with depth and detail. All the developer did in this game is put pretty lights during every move, to give players the illusion that the game is fun. None of that is fun for me. The AI and its difficulty were lazily designed in this game. The online multiplayer is also lazily designed with garbage matchmaking. The developers heavily advertised the "you can play as everybody" thing, which is nothing more than a gimmick that gets old fast. How about they spend time actually improving the gameplay, instead of coming up with gimmicks?
A gimmick is a novel device or idea designed primarily to attract attention or increase appeal, often with little intrinsic value. When applied to retail marketing, it is a unique or quirky feature designed to make a product or service stand out from its competitors. Product gimmicks are sometimes considered mere novelties, and tangential to the product's functioning.
I don't recommend this game at all, unless you want to support laziness. 0 out of 10. I think my favorite part about this one is when you look at his other reviews for games. This individual seems to love dropping zeros everywhere. Also, according to him, God of War and Marvel's Spider-Man are 0. He also gave Red Dead Redemption 2 a perfect score. Not bad. Personalmente, y de mi pensar este un juego solamente. Para niños personalmente. No entiendo cómo cuareston juegan esto. 0 out of 10. I do not know what that said, but it probably wasn't good. Very disappointed how not much new was brought to the table. Even the new characters were underwhelming. Not cool how you can't use all the characters in co-op mode. Wait, what do they mean by that? 2 out of 10. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is really disappointing. When it was first announced, I felt it would be one of the best 2018 games. However, when I saw it at the E3, it let me down. The new fighters, like Daisy, Isabelle, and Chrom, are nothing interesting with the exception of King K. Rool, Inkling, and Ridley. No new third-party characters neither, which is why there is a huge fandom of this series and, anyways, the requests are not taken into account. My most disliked announcement was the new assist trophies. People felt disappointed when Waluigi was an AT once again. In my case, I felt really depressed when I saw Bomberman was one too. I mean, really? An assist trophy? Since the announcement of Super Bomberman R as a launch title for the Switch, both Smash and Bomberman fans determined it was time to include him as a playable fighter in the next Smash, not something else. Even notable personalities and brands agree with it. Going on with the assist trophies, this feature really ruined more third-party characters. I thought Smash accepted relevant characters like those as fighters, but no. Looks like in a very different way. The third-party characters are disappointing too. Bayonetta is not a very notable series as others, so why is she here once again? She doesn't deserve to be in a crossover fighting game like this. Nobody requested her.
We've been asking for your opinion on the Super Smash Bros. Fighter ballot, and Bayonetta was the #1 choice in Europe.
Nobody requested her.
In North America, she was among the top 5.
Nobody requested her.
This ranking includes even fighters from previous games in the series.
Nobody requested her.
Hideo Kojima, who I don't think is great, asked Nintendo to include Solid Snake to Brawl. He left Konami and wasn't included in 3DS Wii U, but is here again. And later, they announced the only new third-party character, Simon Belmont. So why did Konami re-add a character whose latest game was hated by the internet media and fans, and one whose series is dead since 2014? Bomberman is the only current notable series owned by Konami, thanks to the success of Super Bomberman R. The game doesn't have so interesting features. The new story mode, World of Light, is repetitive and nothing like the Subspace Emissary, whose removal was due to a pointless reason. Well, to be fair, the game ended up being leaked 2 weeks before launch, which kinda proved Sakurai's point. How they made all of the final smashes automatic and the addition of more Echo Fighters and clones is worthless. All this make this game look like a deluxe version of the 3DS Wii U game rather than a new game. To end up, I totally dislike this game. No. I don't deny I had my hopes to it, but I do say this game screwed itself. I learned you don't have to expect anything good about it like requesting your favorite characters to appear in it. I will never play nor have interest in Super Smash Bros. Ever again. This game is a major disappointment of 2018 and one of the main reasons why the Switch isn't as cool as it was in 2017. Thank you, Nintendo. Just go ahead and take care of your other IPs and make this entry the last one of its series. Super Mario Odyssey is way better than this. 0 out of 10. Horrible rendition of one of my fave childhood franchises. Shame on Nintendo. 0 out of 10. One of the most annoyingest games I've ever played. The game is way too complicated and difficult even on easy. Jumping back onto the platforms and all these combos that AI does is just way too complicated. 1 out of 10. This game is an awful port and I don't like the new characters. Well, I don't like your grammar. Don't is the ultimate smash. I prefer Wii U or Brawl. 0 out of 10. I do not like that all the stages are unlocked from the beginning. Where is the sense of progression? Which is funny that the game gives me all its chewy content without giving me the opportunity to learn it. So many characters and so many unique ways that could have been designed to unlock them. And I end up being potential wasted. And the way history, by God, is simply regrettable. It is not a grandiose room as it was in Brawl. I feel cheated with the cinematic of the Direct so that in the end the game did not have a bit of plot. So many characters and licenses together in a story for nothing. No interaction or crossover action. Only a Smash Tour 2 glorified and seasoned with a boring cinematic other than. 0 out of 10. I have to put a bad grade on this one. The simple reason is the solo mode. A lot of players are going to play this game for its solo features. And let me tell you that the story mode, as it calls himself, is a living cancer. Did you just assume the story mode's gender? It is a cancer because of the AI in this game. Never you'll see a AI so broken. As you crank up the difficulty, the AI is simply perfect. And I mean perfect. It won't miss a shoot, won't miss a combo, won't let you deal any damage, it has the level of a Hall of Fame Smash player, and the only way you'll beat certain Spirit is with patience to try again 156 times, and a huge amount of luck, because in the story mode, the fights are not fair. You have handicaps, and they have advantages. On top of that, the story mode does not have a story, at all. It's a chain of fights, without cutscene, without interest, without anything special. When you see the fantastic work done for the scenario on Smash Bros. Brawl, you realize that this Smash, no matter how good can the rest be, is only here to make, 4 asterisks, loads of money. 0 out of 10. This franchise is dead. No improvements or any changes with Ultimate. It's a quick cash grab. 0 out of 10. It is not a perfect game. We have to make it clear. It has a lot of port, and the truth ruins several things and traditions that the saga has always maintained. That without mentioning that the marketing campaign was excessive and practically showing the whole game without having left. It hurt me especially to see how Nintendo prostitutes his demos everywhere, erasing any surprise that the player could have when playing it. 0 out of 10. Did you just assume Nintendo's gender?